Most sold their souls to serve in Jiren's whorehouses. Mailin couldn't blame them. In a land where women were worth less than chattel, and rape resulted in nothing more than an averted gaze, brothels became safe houses, sanctuaries. If she were human, or a mage born into the impoverished caste, she might have done the same. At the very least, whorehouses gave women access to coin in exchange for what invariably happened out on the streets. Brothels ensured a roof over their heads, warm beds, and food for their bellies. They also prescribed paupers, barring the dirty and diseased from their doors. Unfortunately, they didn't discriminate against well-paying sadists, Mailin mused at the edge of the whore's bed. She expelled an audible breath as she surveyed the cluster of swollen bruises marring her patient's shoulder. How could Madame Sima let this happen? Leysa grimaced, angling her head to allow Mailin better access to her broken collarbone. Madame Sima could hardly refuse a lord, she muttered through whimpering breaths. Mailin dipped her chin as warmth seared her cheeks, born not of anger, but shame. Of course the brute came from her caste. In all her years scrap healing, Mailin had witnessed sexual violence in all its forms, meted out by men of all stations. But the Jade Caste lords were the worst perpetrators. Misogynistic monsters hiding behind placid smiles and polished boots, who derived pleasure from a woman's pain. Monsters just like her father. The door creaked open as Madame Sima sashayed in, the tiny baubles on her hair sticks jangling in tandem with the annoying clop of her wooden slippers. Her wraparound grenade was a poor attempt to disguise her station. In fact, her formal attire only made a mockery of Jade Caste ladies. The beautifully embroidered folds of her grenade were poorly, perhaps purposefully, slung to expose an indecent amount of flesh. The madam tutted as she scrutinized Leysa's face. "Raelia's tears! This won't do!" She whirled to Mailin, hands fluttering like the wings of an agitated pigeon. "Half-breed, whatever you do, those bruises must go. Leysa's next client is here. The man's impatient." Mailin curled her lips, but tried to keep her tone even. "The bruising is the least of my concerns. Her clavicle is broken, and I suspect there are pieces of fractured bone." "He's a lord," the madam interjected. "A foreign dignitary. We cannot keep him waiting." Mailin folded her arms across her chest. "Have another tend to his needs. Leysa shouldn't be servicing tonight."